Today I'm taking you along for a new street photography session here in Copenhagen. It's a lovely sunny day in this autumn weather, and I think we can get some good shots. In this video I'll be sharing my thoughts process behind some of the shots, giving you some insights into how I see and compose my photos. So let's get started. When I start a street photography session, the first thing I do is actually just taking some photos to get the creative flow starting. And I've seen a lot of other photographers having it like this, that you just need to use that trigger finger to get something started. But of course, what I try to do is I scan the area for interesting light and compositions. Here I'm noticing how the light falls on the buildings, creating some really cool shadows. It's always a good idea to use natural elements to add depth to your photos. So we are out shooting here with the Sony A7IV and the 24mm to 52.8, a combination that I have never tried before. And as I recall it, I did use a mist filter also, so we have a lot of these dreamy scenes, which of course is pretty nice if you like this kind of style. But also with this heavy sun coming down, it did lose a lot of contrast when I shot some photos. So for some of the photos I had to add that in post to compensate for the mistiness, which was a bit overwhelming. If you look at my shadow, you will notice that my head is turning around a lot, and that is because I am observing and trying to see if I can find a good shot. This might not be the most interesting photo or the best photo, but I think this photo tells a story that other photos might not, because if you look careful you will see the little family behind the cars, and it just helps to emphasize what's going on here, that we have a sunny autumn day with a lot of people on the street because they're out enjoying it. We probably have a mother and her children, and they're out enjoying themselves in this beautiful autumn sun. So I think the trees here have made a really beautiful scene that really makes your eye look down the middle of the street where the sun is coming down and kind of backlighting the subjects here in the scene. I would have wished for someone to come on a bike or something like that, or a person crossing the street. This didn't happen, so we got a car instead, and yeah, that was better than nothing. Feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions. In this shot I noticed a charming, almost hidden entrance framed by autumn colors. I positioned myself to include the leaves in the foreground, using them as a natural frame to add depth and a sense of intimacy to the scene. The soft, warm tones of the foliage contrast nicely with the stark black and white design of the door, drawing your eye towards the center. I also loved how the sunlight gently illuminated the scene, adding a cozy, nostalgic vibe. Sometimes it's all about capturing those little details that tell a story. Here I focused on the symmetry and character of this old brick building. The contrast between the warm tones of the brick and the cool blue reflection of the windows and sky creates a striking balance. I framed it tightly to highlight the architectural details and used a centered composition to emphasize its symmetry. Sometimes all you need is to look up to find those hidden gems in urban environments.
Now I'm so confused, because best we go our separate ways.
So here I just spotted this mother coming out, and yeah, just did a hip shot. And I kind of like the result of this.
Lady, why are you crying? Why? This is the way that you want it to be. So baby, don't shed no tears for me. Lady, why are you crying?
I came across this charming house with its distinctive triangular roofline, surrounded by vibrant autumn vines. The bright red leaves climbing up the wooden fence immediately caught my eye. The warm, natural light on this sunny day added a soft glow, enhancing the house's warm tones. I made sure to include the bicycle with its cargo carrier parked in front, adding a touch of life to the scene. For this shot I focused on creating a balanced composition, placing the house centrally while using the sidewalk and fence as leading lines to guide the viewer's eyes. The mix of colors, red, warm browns and the cool blue sky gave the image a harmonious feel. The mood I wanted to capture here was one of tranquility and everyday coziness, reflecting the peaceful nature of this residential neighborhood. It's the little details like the bicycle that hint at a leisurely pace of life, adding that extra layer of storytelling.
Used to fantasize, we dream about a house, a home, a family.
Here I spotted a guy on the staircase, and this was a really cool scene because we have the contrasting shadows on one side and then him in the sunlight. You will see two photos here, one where I'm trying to block the side to make the photo a little bit more interesting, and then I have him in the rules of third down to the left, and then the other photo where I've framed him a bit lower in the photo, which really doesn't refer to any sort of composition rule, but I actually like this photo more. This just shows you that there might be a lot of rules and guidelines of what you should do, but sometimes you also need to break them to make the photo more interesting.
This is the way that you want it to be. So baby, don't shed no tears for me.
And as I'm walking again, here is a cute dog just enjoying the sunlight, and it's also a Cocker Spaniel, which is a dog that I own myself, so of course I had to capture this cute dog. We spot a cool subject and we set the pace, and then we see the shadows here and the sunlight just catching her hair, placing her in the shadow but with her hair in the light. Really helps to frame the person in the photo, and also making sure that we look at her head and her hair. This photo might not be something special, but the person here is just carrying the cutest little dog, and if you followed my channel before, you know I am a really dog person, so of course I needed to capture this. It is quite interesting how cameras behave in sunlight, or just light in general of course. And here on this walk I found that some photos were really easy to edit, because the way the sun and the camera interacted, and other photos were more difficult to edit to get the colors that I wanted. This just really shows how important light is, and that you should not get discouraged if some photos don't work out, because there is sometimes more to it than just your skills. Of course, you can understand light better, but in the end, something you cannot really change is the light when you're out shooting street photography. So you also kind of have to live with the fact that not all photos will be the way that you thought they would. I don't think I am the best at capturing these pictures of spots without persons in them, but I try to push myself sometimes. Here I kind of like the red, and I've seen this place before, and I think this photo was pretty decent. You can always check out my Instagram for more photos. I will leave the link in the description. This image captures a peaceful autumn scene with a golden tree commanding the right third of the frame. Its warm hues contrasting beautifully against the urban surroundings. The placement of the tree following the rules of thirds creates a harmonious composition that feels both balanced and visually engaging. The two figures strolling along the sidewalk in the lower left adds a touch of scale and human connection, subtly drawing the viewer into the moment. The warm natural lighting casts long gentle shadows that highlight the tree's textures and leaves, enhancing the tranquil, contemplative mood. This interplay between the organic beauty of autumn and the clean lines of the modern architecture creates a unique juxtaposition, inviting reflection on the relationship between nature and city life. I was drawn to the vibrant scene of this brick building with its prominent Teknisk Skole sign. I tried to take several photos and not all of them was great, but the cascading red wine along its side was a striking detail that added a burst of color to the otherwise muted tones of the structure. So I crossed the road and I waited for a cyclist to pass through the frame, bringing a sense of movement to the foreground and capturing the liveliness of the street. Again, with the sun shining, we take advantage of the warm natural light, which cast a beautiful glow on the building, wine and cyclist. The lighting helped create a sense of depth and atmosphere, emphasizing the rich autumnal tones. For the composition, I aimed for a dynamic approach, using the cyclist to lead the viewer's eye towards the building and the bold Teknisk Skole sign. The diagonal lines of the street and the flowing wine added movement, while the contrast between the warm brick and cooler tones of the sky and cars created a balanced color palette. The mood I was trying to convey here is one of urban vibrancy combined with a touch of nostalgia. The scene reflects the energy of everyday life in the city, with the warm light and rich colors hinting at a calm autumn day. Street photography is often about reacting quickly to what's happening around you. Here I see a cyclist coming, and I need to be ready to capture that moment, and that's why I'm using continuous autofocus to keep the subjects sharp. If you look at my shadow, you will notice that my head is turning around a lot, and that is because I am observing and trying to see if I can find a good shot. Thanks for coming along. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more street photography tips and POV videos.